Alright, so I'm going to be attempting to show how to replace the battery on this 13-inch MacBook Air. This is model A1932. Alright, so this should be about the same thing for the 2018, 2019, and 2020 models. Alright, so from late 2018 to early 2020. I actually forgot that I disconnected the battery, so let me actually show that whole process. I'm going to reconnect it and then disconnect it again for you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and take these screws out. We're using a Pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screwdriver. You want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. The way I do that, I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern we remove them. So you have this rectangular pattern, and we're just going to remove them like that. Alright, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. I did work on the battery before, as I mentioned, because I wanted to test and make sure that it was just a battery issue and nothing else. The battery went completely dead because the customer left it sitting, I think, for over a year or two. And because of that, lithium ion or lithium batteries in general don't like being drained completely to zero, and then beyond that it's even worse. And once they drain too far, they won't charge again. So proper battery care, it's best to keep it between 20 and 80%. That will extend the life of the battery the longest, but I know most people can't keep it like that. So main thing, you don't want to leave your battery plugged in at 100% when it's not really doing anything, and you also don't want to let it drain all the way to zero and completely die. Okay, so here's the battery connector. I'm going to zoom in here. I'm likely going to have to, oh, this is going to be a huge pain. I didn't realize I'm going to have to take out the trackpad, probably the motherboard too. We'll see, because they hid part of the trackpad cable underneath here. That's gonna suck. Anyways, what you're gonna want to do after opening this up, there's this little button here. You're gonna want to press and hold that. I just used my fingernail. You might not be able to see. Let me try and find a way I can do that. But anyways, I just use my fingernail and poke it. You can actually feel it click in. You want to press and hold that for about 15 seconds. All right. I actually did that already, so let me show you, because I left the battery out. So let me put this back in. But I tested the replacement battery by plugging that into there. So here you can see the replacement battery looks like this. It has this cable. So I just plugged that in and then left it like that and worked on the computer with the battery like that. Okay, anyways, let me go ahead and plug this back in so you guys can see what it looks like. So basically this thing just lines up here. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, so it lines up there, and then this just pushes in. So normally it's like this. Okay, let me make sure it's in all the way. There you go. So normally it's like this. And then this little plastic tab is kind of like taped down on top. So you want to peel this back. All right. Once you peel that back, you can actually see this little raised portion of the connector here. So there's a small raised portion that I'm kind of grabbing with my nail. So what I do is I get that portion and I pull on that. But again, of course, you want to press and hold this button for 15 seconds. Okay, so let me do that and make sure it's completely drained. Excuse me, my throat. Okay. Alright, we'll hold it a few more seconds, I think. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and disconnect the battery now. So peel up that little plastic tab. Then we're going to go ahead and pull this back. If you don't have fingernails, you can use whatever works, plastic tools or whatever. Okay, we're going to pull that back, and here you go. We have the battery disconnected. If you want to be extra safe after disconnecting the battery, you can go ahead and press this again for about 15 seconds to make sure all the power is drained from the board. Alright, so I'm going to continue holding this a few more seconds just to make sure, because I don't want to risk damaging anything on here. Hopefully this will work completely fine after swapping the battery completely out. Okay, so the battery is held in with some adhesive. According to what I see on the back here, let me see if I can show you this. So this is how they ship the battery. Comes like this. There's this plastic, and then you have this metal plate. So I'm assuming this metal plate is held in with adhesive. I see like little black lines underneath here. I'm guessing those are stretch adhesives. And then you got the speakers here as well. So I think first we're going to remove the speakers. So let me zoom in here and see if I can show you that. So the speakers have this little strip here. We're going to peel this up. Okay, you want to be careful. I'm pretty sure this is a stretch release adhesive. So you can see we can peel that up and it's like that. Then what we're going to do, we're going to pull it straight back. Yep. Okay, so we're going to pull it straight back away from the speaker, and hopefully it's going to stretch and release, because if we can't release this, I don't know how we're going to do this. Oh no, that is not good. So that didn't work. Let's go ahead and try the other side. That's going to suck, because that means the speaker is probably going to get screwed up. So let's try this side. We're going to try and do the same thing. I don't know if I should be attempting the same way, or if I should maybe pull it over to the side a little. But normally you want to pull it straight back. The problem is they have this sharp raised edge here. So I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just pulling it slowly, lightly. Okay, I think it's coming out. You want to pull this very slow, as you can see. I'm pulling this out very slow, very lightly. And okay, it's finally starting to come out. I don't know what I'm going to do about the other one now, because that one just tore like super easily. I didn't even pull it that hard. But basically I'm just continuing to pull it straight back. You can see where my finger's slowly sliding back. That's where I'm pulling it. So I'm using my other hand. I know it's off screen, but I'm just pulling it closer to me slowly. As it comes closer and closer, I just continue pulling, and it helps to kind of have my finger here to kind of keep this adhesive strip flat. Okay, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to reuse this adhesive strip. I'll try. If you keep it flat enough and it doesn't stick onto itself, usually you can reuse these adhesive strips, but we'll find out. Because if we can't reuse it, then the battery's just going to be loose in there, rolling all over the place. The speaker's going to be loose in there, rolling all over the place. You can probably use any double stick adhesive. You don't have to use this. But if you have to take it out later, it's going to be a pain. Or you can just use less adhesive. Okay, so I'm still stretching it. It's getting really long. It's more than a foot long right now, stretched out. And if it goes all the way up the entire speaker, this thing is probably going to go to like 3 or 4 feet long. So yeah, I don't know. I hate how Apple uses this kind of stuff, but they could easily just put screws, but nope, they want to use this kind. Uh-oh. So it bounced back and stuck all onto itself, so we're going to toss this. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can lift this speaker up now, or if it's still stuck. So we got that adhesive out. Okay, you can see it can lift not 100%, so I don't know if there's another adhesive strip somewhere under here. Oh, there is. So there's an adhesive strip under there at the top. I'm gonna have to get some tweezers to do this. I don't know where I threw my proper tweezers. I have some not as good tweezers over here. Okay, we'll try these tweezers real quick. I don't know what happened with my other tweezers. So we got this. So let's see if we can grab this under here. Let me see if I can zoom in and show this. Man, I hate Apple. They like to do this kind of annoying stuff. Okay, so they have this adhesive strip here. I hope they probably designed it to where you have to take the motherboard out to do this, but let's see. Okay, so I'm going to grab this adhesive strip, and it keeps falling in there. So as you can see, there's that there. We're going to try and slowly, carefully pull this up. This was... Okay, so we're going to slowly pull this away. And again, you want to carefully, slowly pull this, because if you pull too hard and it tears, then you're screwed. So this one is a very short piece of adhesive, as you can see. If you want, you can attempt to reuse this. Okay, let's see here. I'll see if I can reuse that. I don't know. Anyways, now we got to pop the connector out here. I like to get my fingernail underneath. There's usually some adhesive holding this down here, so we're going to have to peel that up carefully. Okay. So I'm just getting my fingernail underneath. You can use a plastic pry tool or something. So something like this. Let me show you. So like this, you can kind of use that, and then you can get underneath, and you can kind of like wiggle it to get it completely under. Then you want to get the corner edge of it underneath the center of this connector here. And I'll show you why in a bit, but here you can see we popped it up. Again, usually I just use my fingernails, but here you can see there's that little notch there. So this in the center here, and basically you're getting the tool in that little notch and then popping up the connector. Anyways, okay, here you can see we got the speaker out now. Okay, and then you can see these 3 tabs here. So most likely we're gonna have to peel out these 3 pieces of tape. There's 2 screws here holding that. So it looks like this battery is held in with adhesive and screws. Okay, which is the screw part is nice, the adhesive part is annoying. I'm gonna see if I can somehow thread the replacement battery through underneath here, so that way I don't have to remove the entire thing, because that's going to be a nightmare. I might have to at least remove the trackpad a little, so I can kind of move this around. I believe if I remove the trackpad screws, I can actually move it enough that I can disconnect the cable here, but it is pretty tricky. Okay, so let's see, how can we remove this other speaker? I do see a adhesive tab underneath this, but that looks like it's going to be a pain to get to. Let me see what we can do. Let's try and disconnect this board here. I'm going to try and get this little thing under here and pop up one corner. Here you go. So, oops, sorry. So we got this under here, and I just pried that up. And then I'm going to go underneath the connector and then slide my fingernail along. Again, you can use plastic pry tools and pop up the other side. There we go. Let's see. Can we get access to... There we go. You can see there's an adhesive strip thing there as well. Apple being sneaky, making this thing difficult to work on. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom out here. Okay, let's see. Can we grab this one? Alright. Okay, so we grab that. And we can slowly, carefully, hopefully pull this out. Again, slowly, slowly. Okay, at least, whoa, this one's a lot longer here. Okay, so here you can see the adhesive strip looks like this. It's quite a bit longer than the other one. Actually, yeah, it's a little bit longer. I don't know about reusing those. I'm going to have to probably use some other adhesive, because they do just curl up on themselves. Alright, so I'm going to rotate over back to here. And I don't know how I'm going to get the other adhesive part out that just tore. That's a huge pain here. I can still see part of it in there, but that's impossible to get to. So, okay, I'm going to try with this flat pry tool. I'm going to try and lift the speaker up slightly or slowly, carefully. Let's see if we can get in this gap here. Okay, I can push the speaker forward slightly. You can see, or hopefully you can see, the gap is slightly getting larger. But I don't know how I'm going to get to that piece. Okay, I'm going to slowly apply some pressure here. I might have to do this with popsicle sticks to slowly keep pressure, and the adhesive will slowly somewhat peel up. But you want to do this very slowly. You don't want to try and rush it, because if you rush it, you're going to end up just breaking it. So let's see, we got that slightly pried up. Let me see if I can somehow shove this that direction enough that I can kind of get this popsicle stick in, and then maybe that will be enough room that I can somewhat somehow grab the adhesive piece that's visible. Okay, I don't know if that's gonna work. I can barely get this. I can't even get this in. I need a thinner I need a thinner popsicle stick. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. So, well, messing up this here hopefully will make it so that people can kind of learn what to do if theirs gets stuck. This is going to be annoying. I hope this speaker's not going to get damaged, because if it does get damaged, that's going to be bad. I don't know if I can get a replacement of this speaker. I might have to check with my partner. But, geez. Okay, I don't even know how I'm going to get underneath here. It's stuck in there pretty strong. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is very difficult. Okay. So I think if the adhesive didn't break, it might not have been too bad, but because that adhesive broke, let's see, let's try and get this tool under there. Okay, so this tool fits underneath, and we're probably going to have to just slowly keep lifting it up, and hopefully the adhesive will just continue to peel up. But right now, I don't know how I'm going to get this. Can I get a popsicle stick in there instead? There we go. Okay, so we got a popsicle stick in there, and again, I'm probably going to have to just slowly keep wedging it and working my way over, because I don't see how I'm going to get underneath there. Hopefully, as I keep pulling on it, it's going to release, because that adhesive kind of just stretch releases. Let's see if I can use this to kind of push it forward and out of the way enough. No, I don't know how I can do that. I need like a needle or something. Yeah, that thing is way too thin. I don't know how I'm going to get that adhesive out. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Can I somehow pull this side out enough that I can get to it? So we're getting part of this side out. Problem is, the adhesive underneath is still really strong. And if I pull too hard, it's probably just going to end up cracking or damaging the speaker. Okay, so I'm pushing it down or towards the battery, and then I'm trying to lift this side out. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work, is it? Shoot. Man, I hate Apple's designs. Okay, so I don't know what we're gonna do here, guys. Let's try and get this popsicle stick in there again. Uh-oh, it got in and then it just pops back out. Let's see, can we pop this forward some? Stay in there, popsicle stick, please. Oh, I can see the adhesive getting sucked in, which sucks. Okay, I can get a piece. Hopefully I can somehow pull this out. Okay, I got a small piece of it. I managed to reach a bit, and let's go ahead and slowly peel it. Alright, looks like we got this. Hopefully it's not going to snap again. Here you can see now I'm going to keep pulling it like this so you can see how much adhesive they stick under there. There we go. Okay, that was a pain. Hopefully this speaker is okay. Alright, looks like that. Set this aside. Hopefully this part of the video will help some people, even though it was somewhat of a pain. Alright, let's zoom out a bit here. Okay, let's see. How are we going to get this out? So there's 2 screws on either side. I believe those are T5 or Torx 5, but I'm not sure because I haven't worked on this before. So let's try. Let's try T5 or Torx 5. No? Okay, let's try switching smaller. Let's try 3. Okay, it's probably a 3, but I'll check a 4 just to be safe. Yeah, okay, it's a T3 or Torx 3. So we're going to use that to remove these screws, 2 on each side. Okay. And again, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. Alright, so we got those 2. We're going to now get these 2 out. I'm not too sure what I'm going to use to replace those adhesive strips. I do have some similar adhesive, but I don't know. We'll see. I can try it. Okay. Alright, anyways, and we got 3 strips on either side here, it seems. Okay, again, let's see, does this just lift out? Not really. Okay, let's see, maybe these strips are what's preventing it from lifting out. So we're going to rotate this here, and I'm going to try and show removing this stuff. Okay, let's see if we can do it with these little tweezers here. Okay, no, that's really stuck. Let's try with this. Jeez, are you serious? Okay, I'm going to try with my fingernails. It's like really stuck down there. Okay, so we're going to see if we can peel this up, and I think it's just more stretch adhesive. Okay, yep. Okay, so we're going to grab this, and this adhesive is super thin. So again, you want to be very careful, and you want to pull it straight back. The way I'm doing that is I'm using my thumb to push it down to try and keep it going flat, because going over this, it's going too high. So I'm using my thumb to pull it straight back, just like this. Okay, I'm not going to reuse any of this adhesive. I don't like this adhesive. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and do the same with the other 2 on this side, and then we're going to do the 3 on the other side as well. We got that. Okay, so we're going to now peel this back as well. Jeez, it's hard to grip. Okay, same thing, keep it flat. Again, I'm using my thumb to help. As you can see, I pull it like this, and then just keep going. Just like that. Okay, and as you pull it, also this one kind of stays more stretched, but you can see it goes back. Okay, there we go, and there you go. That's what the adhesive kind of looks like underneath. I'm surprised they didn't provide new adhesive strips for the battery. I guess these screws are kind of already good enough, so anyways, let's go ahead and peel this back. Uh-oh, please don't be completely torn. Come on, come out, please. I don't want to deal with more torn adhesive. There we go. Okay, so we're going to slowly keep peeling this again. Alright, there we go. We got those 3 out. Let's see, can we lift this now? Oh, that comes up quite nicely. Okay, we're going to go on this side, same thing. We're going to get these 3 adhesive strips out. Okay, same thing. Keep it low. Alright, you don't want to lift it too high, but you can see it's coming out. Okay, we got those out. Come on. This adhesive is such a pain in the butt. Okay. We got it. Come on. Okay, there we go. And grab that and peel it back. And continue holding it flat. Just like this. go. All right, and then the last one, and hopefully we can get this battery out without having to take the entire motherboard out, but we'll find out. Okay, just like this, grab this third one. Again, keep it low. Okay, just like this. There we go. All right, so we got all the adhesive out, it seems. Let's go ahead and zoom out, and can we lift the entire battery? Yes, we can. So now we're gonna have to peel this up somehow. Okay, so you wanna try and keep this flat. You don't wanna crease it. You can see it's like slightly bending here. Okay, so I try and like pull it that direction while I kind of lift it up. And you wanna be careful because this little hole here makes it very easy to tear. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pull on this again. I'm pulling it that way as I'm slowly peeling it up. Just like this. All right, is there adhesive here too? No. Okay, so you just want to be very careful. Okay, so now we got this, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get the battery out. Let's see. How can we do this? I'm probably going to have to take the thing out, but let's see if I can somehow sneak this through here. Okay, and slowly, carefully rotate this, being very careful not to cut this cable. I might have to just bite the bullet and take it out because this seems like it's very risky. Yeah, that's very risky. Okay, I'm gonna put the battery back under here, and let me see if taking out the trackpad will help. I'm gonna go with a T5 or Torx 5. Alright, so we're going to remove these 8, 9 screws, okay? Again, keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. Even though they look the same, it's always a good idea to try and put back the same screw where you got it from, okay? So I got this central one. If this is designed like the other models, there might be some little washers on these, so you want to be very careful when you take the trackpad out or move it. Those washers can shift and fall off really easily, so you want to be very careful. The center screw here is like silver, the other ones are all black. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and get all these screws out. Okay, so now we're going to carefully lift up the thing to open it up, and here you can see now the trackpad is falling through. So you want to be very careful because this cable is pretty short. Actually, it might be useful to leave one screw there temporarily. So let me put the middle screw back in slightly. Alright, let's see if we can lift this up. There you go. So now the trackpad is raised up. I'm going to get my hand under here. We're going to now undo this screw while we're holding the trackpad into place. And then, can we shift this enough to disconnect the trackpad cable? I don't know. Let's see here. Can we? That's going to be very difficult. I don't know about that. Possibly, but it's going to be a huge pain. Okay, I'm sliding this over to the right a bit. You can possibly flip this latch up. I'm going to try doing it because it's going to save me from having to completely disassemble the entire laptop. So I'm going to use like a small plastic tool like this to try and get in and flip this little latch here out. Okay, oh, let me zoom in so you can kind of see this better. Again, this is very tricky to do, very difficult, so keep that in mind, alright? If you're going to attempt this, alright, I'm going to flip this latch up using this, hopefully. Okay, there we go. We flip that latch up, and now we should be able to pull this cable out from here. You can probably even just use the same tool to help pull it back, so I'm going to get this in here and try and pull the cable back slightly. Maybe, is there an adhesive holding it? Let me double check. The latch is up on all sides. Okay, so there's probably, I think there's an adhesive under there. Of course there is, because, you know, Apple. Alright, so we're gonna try and peel this adhesive up. I'm just gonna grab both sides, slowly pull it, carefully. Okay, and yeah, there is an adhesive. I don't know if I can show this. Okay, hopefully you guys can see. There is an adhesive there as I peel this, okay? And I'm going to be careful because I don't want to damage this cable. So hopefully you can kind of get the idea of what's going on. I'm just slowly rocking it side to side and applying constant pressure to get the adhesive to peel up. Okay, there we go. Once that adhesive is peeled up, we should be able to pull the connector back down and out, and there we go. Okay, so here we got the trackpad. You can see the little washers there that I was talking about. These things can fall off pretty easily, so you want to be very careful, especially when setting it down, and there's one in the middle as well. Right, so I'm going to set that down here off to the side, and oh shoot, this got a little crease in it. Hopefully it will be okay. If not, I'm going to have to end up probably taking the whole motherboard out and replacing this cable. Oh god, okay. Apple makes things, likes to make life hard. Okay, now we can go ahead and lift this up and slide this out. Okay, be careful with that. And here's the old battery. Okay, you can see this dumb design. I mean, dumb for me. I guess it's genius for Apple to make people have to destroy their computers and then they don't warranty or repair it and make you buy a new one. Anyways, let's go ahead and peel this clear thing off. You want to roll it back like this, okay? So it says to take this off after battery's installed. I don't know why, because it's attached to this metal plate. So for this specific model, it shouldn't matter. I'm just going to peel this off because once I put it in place, this is going to be in the way. So it's going to be easier to peel this back now. It shouldn't have any problems. This film is usually there to keep all the battery packs in the right position. But again, because they're held in place to this metal plate, this adhesive clear thing isn't actually doing anything. As you can see, we're peeling it apart and the battery packs are just staying in the same place. Okay, so there we go. Set that aside. Okay, now we're going to get this back in. This is going to be a huge pain to get the trackpad into place. But anyways, we got the battery back in. That's good. Okay, we'll slide this over to the side here. Get everything lined up. It should drop into place nicely. Let's go ahead and get these 4 screws in. Again, because we have that, I'm not even going to bother with adhesive on here. It shouldn't be an issue. If you want, you can put some double stick adhesive, but I don't think it really matters. I don't know. It's just going to make it harder to take this out. The speaker will definitely need to find a way to secure it down because you don't want it just vibrating and rumbling. So we're going to have to put some adhesive here and some adhesive here. It doesn't have to be as aggressive. We can probably put just a little bit on there and a little on there so that when you need to take it out in the future, you can just pry it up. But for the battery, I'm not going to put anything. Alright, so we're going to switch over to the T3, Torx 3 screwdriver again. Let's go ahead and get all 4 screws back in. So we're going to get this in. I'm loosely fitting it first, just to make sure everything lines up. Okay, got that, got that. Get this one up here, and we'll get this one down here. I know somebody's probably going to complain and say, like, I'm doing it wrong and it's dangerous, risky. You guys decide how much risk you want to take. Again, you can take the entire motherboard out of here to do this repair if you want. But, yeah, I'm not going to risk damaging the motherboard, taking everything out. That's a little bit more risky than if I damage this. At least I have a chance. If I do damage this, I damage this, and then I guess I do have to take the motherboard out and do it that way. But might as well go this route. Saves a little extra time and risk of damaging everything else, because to take the motherboard out, you do have to disconnect the screen. You have to take all these other little cables, the wireless antennas, and then you have to get all of this out. So for me, that's much more risky. Here you can see it's a little bit wobbly. If you want, you can probably get some double stick tape. Just stick some in the edge and then stick that down. Actually, let me do that right now so I can show you. Okay, my other scissors are in the house, but let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so I'm just going to get a piece of double stick tape. Maybe I'm going to need 3, I don't know. I'm probably just going to put one down at this corner on the last one, because these screws plus that should be enough that if I hold this, yeah, it's not moving anywhere. So let's go ahead and get a small piece. Okay, or actually 2 small pieces. Let me get mine, because we're going to do it on both sides. And again, we're not going to be using much. Okay, so here's one. I'm just going to cut that in half, and we're just going to stick it partway under. Okay, so we got this here. And I'm going to lift the battery slightly. Let me see if I can show this. If you want, you can actually even take all the screws out and then just do it the right way. But I'm going to do it this way. And this will also hold on to the speaker. So here you can see I stuck that in halfway partially. So that way when I peel this up, it's going to reveal the battery and it will stick to there. Okay, we're going to flip this over. We're going to do the same thing over here. Lift this up. As you can see, there's a raised metal piece, and that's where I'm actually sticking the adhesive to. Okay, let me actually get over here. Get that under there, and stick that down. Okay, so then we're going to stick this side down. Alright, now what we're going to do, we're going to peel off the protective coating here. If you're wondering what kind of tape this is an acrylic two-sided adhesive. Okay, so we're going to stick that like that. Again, you shouldn't need a crazy amount. Yeah, and it's already holding really strong. You can see if I try and pull it, it's not really lifting like before. Whereas if you look at this one, okay, when I pull this, okay, you can see how much it's lifting. Alright, so let's go ahead and peel this protective layer off as well. Okay, and oh, it already stuck down. Okay, so stick that. Oh, this thing's like static electricity sticking to me. Let go, please. Both of them keep sticking to me. They won't get off. Okay. Anyways, stick that back down. Then you can see you can pull on this, and it's not going anywhere. So we should be fine. All right, let's rotate this. Let's go ahead and take a look how we're going to do the speakers. So if I put this back in here, it's actually barely gonna touch here. I'm gonna put a small amount of double stick adhesive there and a small amount of double stick adhesive on this, and then maybe I'll just put a little more on the bottom here just to make sure it holds on well. Okay, and again, you don't need a crazy amount. Apple likes to overdo things and make things crazy so that it's harder to repair. Okay, if you can somehow get a hold of that stretch adhesive, you can put that kind of stuff back in. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and cut this. I'm just going to cut this into like 4 pieces. Again, we don't need a crazy amount. Let me stick this here just to have it out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to stick this half onto here. Okay. And I'm going to stick it sideways like this. Alright. So that way when you put this back down, it's going to stick on. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. It just goes on this little triangle. So we're going to stick this here just like that. Okay. Now we're going to cut the other one in half. Alright, and this adhesive is really strong too. So peeling this up will also be somewhat difficult, but as you just like keep constant pressure on it, it will eventually peel up, so we should be okay. I'm going to put it near the edge so it's easier to remove. Alright, if you need to pry it up, same thing with this one, near the edge. Okay, now we'll just peel off the protective coatings on all of them. Alright, this thing's going to just keep sticking to me again. These protective coating things like static cling to your hands. Okay, get that out, and the last one here. Oh, get back off. Okay, so there we go. Let go of me, please. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna hopefully get those red things off my hands. Come on. Okay, I think I got rid of them. Okay, now we're gonna just put the speakers back into place, and this is gonna be a pain as well, the trackpad cable. Anyways, let's zoom in. Let's get the speaker cable first, or the speakers back in first. Okay, you want to slide them in at an angle here. So this one will slide in at an angle, just like that. Alright, and then you want to kind of shove it over that direction and try and get this centered a little bit. Then we just lay this back down and push that back into place. Okay, make sure you get this reconnected. There we go. Just line it up and push it back down. And here you can see the speaker now is really tight in there. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay. And if you do need to pry it out, we should be able to kind of just get under here and slowly keep prying at it, and eventually it will pop up. All right. Okay, let's go for this side. Same thing. This one has a longer cable, so hopefully you don't mix them up. All right. Get this all lined up as well, just like this. Okay, if you want, you can push this cable in. It helps with the alignment. Okay, then make sure to push that in that way and drop it in and push that down. And we should be good. This should not be able to move anywhere. All right, as you can see. Okay, now the tricky part, getting this trackpad back in. I'm actually gonna dirty up this adhesive a bit so it doesn't stick to it too easily. Okay. Alright, we don't want it to be too sticky because then it's going to be really difficult to slide this connector back in. Okay, let's see how we're going to do this. We'll take the trackpad back here. We'll open the screen back up. Be careful with the screen. Let's go ahead and open it here. Okay, how are we going to do this? Again, you want to make sure this latch is flipped up. Okay, so do that. All right, we're going to get the trackpad back in here. Okay, this is, I don't even know how I'm going to show this. So we're going to have it slightly out, move it over like this in a weird position. And then once we can somehow get this to hook back in, we can flip the latch back down. So, all right, don't blame me. Apple designed it this way. All right, let's see here. What can I do here? I'm going to try and give you guys a better angle view, even though it's going to be blocked anyways while I'm working on it. But, okay, so we've got this cable. Actually, should I zoom out more so you can see the entire cable? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to try and get this lined up here. Is this cable, like, messed up? Okay, there was some dust on it. Alright, now we're going to try and get this lined up. And you can use the springiness of the cable to help. Again, this is going to be somewhat of a difficult job. Come on, is it in? Half of it's in, the other half's not. Okay, I'm going to have to take that back out because this is not going in right. Let's try again. I don't know if it's just the lighting. Yeah, the cable's fine. Okay. So, it's very important you get this in right and make sure that it's not crooked or anything. Alright, there we go. Looks good. Okay, once you make sure that it's evenly back in place, you will see some of the gold showing. That's normal. Okay, I don't know how I can show that, so hopefully you kind of looked at it in advance so you can kind of know what it looks like. Now I'm going to use this flat tool to kind of just shove that latch back down, or if you can somehow reach your finger in there, you can kind of like flip that back down by hand, but that's gonna be too tough. So let's try and use this and just flip it back down. Okay, this is a pain. Flip it back down. There we go. Alright, so I got it flipped back down. Okay, I had to use the tool to kind of just reach in there. And then you want to kind of look from both sides and make sure that the gold part that's showing at the end is even. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I have to be very careful trying to show this because I don't want to risk tearing it. So there you go. Alright, anyways, there we go. We're going to line the trackpad back up into its slot. We're not going to tighten these screws in right away, so we want to hold this in place. We're going to switch back over to the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and get the furthest corner screws in first, just so it holds itself. We can actually just put two of these first, that corner and then the opposite bottom corner. There we go. Now we can go ahead and let go. Okay, I let the screen close. And now let's go ahead and just get all the rest of the screws in. You want to loosely fit these, don't tighten them down yet. And that's because we're going to have to align the trackpad. So let me show you what I mean. So even though we got all the screws in, let me show you once I get them all in. I'm going to have to use some tape to do this job. Okay. Alright, so here you can see we got all the screws in, right? But if you look at here, I'll just use one. You can see how much movement there is there. So the trackpad isn't aligned properly. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to open up the MacBook. If you want, you can actually go ahead and kind of push this area here back flat down and then stick that on, just so it's kind of staying in place, not moving all over the place. Okay, we're going to flip this back over here like that. We're going to open this up. Here you can see how crooked this thing is. All right, oops, let's get this in view. So what we're going to do, we're going to get some pieces of tape. Usually what I do is I get 2 pieces of tape, and what I do is I fold over one edge here so we can use that to peel it back up. I'll stick it onto the trackpad and I'll use that to help move this around. And usually it helps to kind of push it all the way up to one side or to the side, and then you can kind of adjust like how much in between that you want to move it back to either side. All right, and then you can go ahead and tape that into place. Then we'll get the other one, and we got to do the same thing. We'll stick part of it on. If you need to adjust it up and down, go ahead and do so, and then tape that back into place as well. Then you kind of want to inspect it from all the sides, make sure it looks centered. All right. You won't be able to get it 100% centered. I don't know if there's a way. Maybe you have to get like little shims that you can stick in on all 4 sides. But anyways, that's about as perfect as we can get it by the naked eye. Let's go ahead now and tighten down all the screws. Again, I'm going to just go from corner to corner. So we're going to do this corner first and this corner. And then it helps to kind of check it one more time, open it up. Make sure it looks centered. If it looks crooked, you can take it back out and realign it. Okay. And the weird thing is, as you spin it around, where the light's coming from might make it look crooked, even if it's not. So keep that in mind. Okay, looks good. Let's go ahead and get all the screws tightened down now. And then we just got to plug it back in, plug the battery back in, plug the laptop back in, and make sure it powers up. We're going to do a PRAM and SMC reset if we can. All right, that's very important for any new like major hardware components. which for this model, anything you're changing to me is considered a major hardware component. Well, I guess technically the speakers aren't really that major, or the cables, but anyways, it's always a good idea to do that anyways. So we'll get all these screws in. Okay, nice. They're all tightened into place. Now we're going to reconnect the battery. This battery connector is like all the way up here for some reason. Let me see on the old one how they, so here you can see they kind of routed it underneath, and then it's, for some reason it's like that. I don't know why this one, okay, I guess route it underneath, but oh, okay, that's right. Okay, now we got it routed. We're gonna go ahead and lift this plastic back up. Hopefully it's, oh, maybe I shouldn't have put the screws in first, because if this doesn't have enough slack, that's not going to be good. All right, anyways, get this lined up. I think we should be okay. Okay, and you want to make sure it's lined up straight. Then you can go ahead and push this connector back in. There we go. Put that little adhesive tab back down. We're going to now put the metal cover back on top. Let's zoom out here so you can kind of see this. I probably should have done like a better thumbnail picture or something. Sorry, it's wobbling so much. Maybe I'll something like this. I don't know. All right, so this will be the thumbnail, I guess. All right, anyways, take this metal plate and we're just gonna stick it back down. Just get everything lined up. Click that all back in. All right, the cover will hold itself in place. For testing, we're gonna go ahead and test this now. Open up the screen. We can go ahead and peel these pieces of tape off. Oh, it actually turned itself on. I didn't even have to plug it in. So this model, it wouldn't even turn on before without being plugged in. And when it was plugged in, it wouldn't boot up properly. They brought it to Apple. Apple just deleted their entire, like, all their data from it. They couldn't reinstall the OS, and they didn't know what was wrong. And now I got it working. I created a new account, and because Apple wiped it out, it made it more difficult. I couldn't boot from an external boot device. Luckily, once I booted, or once it told me I couldn't boot from an external boot device, I was able to connect to, what is it? I was able to connect to the Wi-Fi, and I think the Wi-Fi allowed me for it to reset the time. Right now the date and time is screwed up again, but I had to do the recovery, which is Command Option R on boot. It lets you connect to Wi-Fi, and then it will let you go into recovery mode. But Apple has this dumb thing where it uses the battery as the BIOS or CMOS battery, and because of that, when the main battery completely dies, the date and time gets wiped out. So here you can see, since I was able to connect to Wi-Fi again, the date and time, it was showing Sunday 11 p.m. or a.m. Now it's showing Monday 12:04, so it fixed itself. But for some reason, when you first go to do the recovery options and you connect to the Wi-Fi and then you try and do it, Apple's date and time, because the battery was dead, will be screwed up, and then you can't even load the recovery. So Apple will show it's downloading. It'll show that little globe spinning around, and then it will show you a globe with a triangle, exclamation, whatever, error code. I don't know what it's. And luckily I was able to get in using my external install. So I have a hard drive that's Mojave, that I had Mojave installed on. And then when I tried to boot from it, because these new Macs have a security option that prevent you, let me actually see if I can show you. So I'm going to do the PRAM and SMC reset real quick. We're going to plug this cable in here. SMC reset, you can see you can see it's on right now. Control Option Shift on the left side, power button. It should shut off. Okay, I guess we can't do SMC on this model because this model is too old, or too new, sorry. So I don't know if there's a special thing for that, but we can do the PRAM reset. So I'm going to click restart and then hold Command Option P and R. What will happen is the computer will boot, you'll hear the chime, you'll see the thing starting up, and then it'll shut the screen back off. And then once it shuts itself back off, you know you did the PRAM reset right. So let's see if it works. Okay, screen came off. We're going to let go now, and it should turn itself back on. If it does that, then we know we did the PRAM reset properly. Okay, so we're going to wait. I think this might actually be crooked. The trackpad might be crooked again. Yeah, so I'm going to have to take that out and then fix the screw, mess with it again. But anyways, as you can see, it restarted and it shut itself and it turned it back on. I'm going to show you now how to do the recovery mode, or how I did the recovery mode. So I don't know if you'll need a external boot. Basically, I used another Mac, and then I was able to install Mojave directly onto this SSD. And because Apple only has these USB-C things, I'm going to have to use an adapter. Okay, and then I'm going to plug this hard drive in. So let me show you what happens here. So I had this plugged in. Okay, so we're going to restart, or you can just shut down, and we'll do it from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to do it as if the computer's off. Okay, so right now, the computer, the MacBook is completely off. Actually, it's clicking, so maybe not. Okay, or maybe the click turns it on. Anyways, we're going to do Command Option R while it's booting. Okay, I heard the chime. The Apple logo is on there. I'm holding Command Option R. Hopefully, it's not just going to boot the hard drive. Actually, I'm doing this wrong. Okay, so, well, you can try this first. If it works, it works. But basically, you can sign into your Wi-Fi. All right, let me try doing it the other way. So I'm going to turn this off first and see if it will show what it showed before. So I powered it on, held the Option key, and the reason I'm holding that is so I can see the external boot devices. All right. Let's see, it's clicking, so that means it should start up. There we go, holding the Option key. Hopefully it's going to show me the boot options and not just start up. Okay, and yeah, it's past midnight right now. Okay, so here you can see Mojave. Because Apple deleted it, they didn't even have this Macintosh HD. But anyways, we're gonna boot Mojave here. Okay, and my hard drive is basically going to be reading, but Apple has this security thing where if you don't have an admin account, you can't allow external boot devices. Now that I have made an admin account to make it easier on myself in the future, I can actually change the settings to do that. So let's see. Oh, it's just booting the normal one now. So it gave up booting Mojave, and I think now it's just booting the internal drive, because normally it won't even boot. Is it booting Mojave? I don't know what it's doing. It's stuck. Okay. Okay, so here you can see. So it did do what it did before. Security settings do not allow this Mac to use an external startup disk, blah, blah, blah. Here you go. And yeah, it's not going to boot. So what I did, I went to the top here. There was no Wi-Fi, so I clicked that. I connected to my Wi-Fi, waited a bit, and then luckily it fixed the recovery mode, because recovery mode before it kept giving errors because the date and time was wrong, because their battery was bad and it wouldn't save the correct date and time. So anyways, now what I'm going to do, there's this boot recovery assistant thing up here, but I can't click that. Then you have startup disk, reset, shut down. Anyways, if I click startup disk, okay, and I want to boot from this, it's not going to work. Like, I can click this, but it's going to end up doing the same thing, I think. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to try and boot again from Mojave. I told it to restart. This thing is just spinning around here. Okay. If it tries to boot from my Mojave disk again, it's most likely just going to give this error again, until I can change the external boot device options. So I'll show you how to do that in a bit. Let's go ahead and see. This thing blinked a little bit, but not enough. Let's see. Is it going to actually try and boot from this or no? Okay, it's blinking a lot. So I think it's trying to boot from this, and then it's probably just going to give up again. So if that's the case, I should probably just shut it off. But yeah, if you're still watching, hopefully this bit is going to help you guys. If you're wondering how I installed the OS to an external drive like this, basically when you have another Mac, if you go to install the OS, it'll ask you where you want to install it to. If you set up another drive in the disk utility and formatted it to Depending what OS you're doing. The new one I think is like APFS or AFPS or whatever, and then the old one is like I keep forgetting. It's whatever Apple's thing is, extended journaled or something. All right. Anyways, once you format the drive, and then when you go to install the new OS, Apple does still make some of the older operating systems available to download and install. So if you need help with that, let me know. There's actually a link you can go to get it, but you can't get it directly from the Apple Store. You have to go to that link. I don't know why Apple just removed it from the store. I guess they don't want people installing the old operating system by accident, or they just like making people's lives hard. Anyways, let's see what's going on. I think it's just going to do the same thing and tell me that it can't boot external, but I don't know, because it's going more than before. So let's see what happens. I'll be surprised if it can boot. Okay, still no mouse yet, so we're just gonna keep waiting. Sorry for keeping you guys so long. Hopefully this is gonna help somebody. I mean, it took me a long time to find this solution, so hopefully it's gonna help somebody. Alright, so let's see here. Okay, I think it's gonna do the same thing. Yep, it's just stuck now, I think. Yep. Okay, so let me show you how you can do the other thing. For some reason now the Wi-Fi is not even showing up here, so it didn't even know to connect to the Wi-Fi. Anyways, I'm gonna shut this down. We're gonna go to the internet recovery mode. The internet recovery mode takes a while to boot, so anyways, Command Option R while the computer's starting up. Okay, first you'll see the Apple logo there. Right, then it goes to this globe. We're gonna go ahead and sign into our Wi-Fi here. Man, I don't know why this thing, for trying to go to the Wi-Fi, it likes to close itself. Okay, I see. Like, their trackpad's too sensitive. Anyways, we're gonna connect to the Wi-Fi. Let me put the password real quick. Uh-oh, you guys can probably see that anyways. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Some people are probably like trying to sneak and see my Wi-Fi password. It's just my guest Wi-Fi password anyways, but I don't know if some people are some extreme hackers, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's not really anything you can do because you can hack into Wi-Fi anyways. But anyways, let's wait for this internet recovery thing to boot up. Here you can see it's just loading, saying starting internet recovery, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this may take a while. So how long is a while? You'll find out. I'm going to let this run. So you can go ahead and fast forward if you want, skip over until you see the screen change. But I like to just record this whole thing so you can kind of see if yours is taking longer than mine. Maybe something's wrong. I don't know. I do have gigabit Ethernet speeds from Comcast, though they say it's gigabit Ethernet, but actually it's like, depending on the day, 400 to 700 megabits, sometimes 300 something, depending on the time and the day. So yeah, all right. Anyways, you can see it's still loading. It's giving a little estimate clock here now, saying about 10 minutes. But those are never accurate. I'll be surprised if it is. Let's see if it finishes by the hour and 13-minute mark of my video. We'll see. All right. Anyways, oh, I found my good tweezers. I put it up on a box, so these are much more sturdy and they get more grip. All right. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Here you can see, let me see if I can show you guys this old battery if you want to see, since Apple's still doing its thing. All right, you can see it says designed by, no you can't because it's not focusing. All right, how am I going to get it to focus there? Can I zoom in on that? Okay, there you go. Designed by Apple in California. You can see this, do not disassemble, puncture, crush, heat, or burn. And I think that's the model number, the 020-02457. Oh no, model number's there, A1965. Okay, you can go ahead and read the rest. Then they have stuff here in Chinese, I think. Sorry, I don't read Chinese or Japanese or any of this. I'm pretty sure it's Chinese. That character I'm pretty sure is. Usually I can tell if it's like Chinese or Japanese if I see like a few characters that I recognize from Chinese. Japanese, usually I'll see that like sideways smiley face thing, and then I know it's Japanese characters. But anyways, I think I got everything. While it's doing that, maybe I should try realigning the trackpad. Okay, let's go ahead and I don't recommend doing stuff on your computer while it's on, but let's go ahead and do that just to save time, since that's going to take a while. I'm not going to be taking out the screws, I'm just going to loosen them again so that I can move it around. Okay, so I don't have to worry about risk of screws rolling around inside the computer, but I still do have to worry about not accidentally dropping the screwdriver on it or something. Anyways, let's go ahead and undo all the screws just enough so that we can move it around again. Alright, we'll flip this back over. It says 8 minutes left, so we got time to work on this trackpad here. Alright, let's see what we got now. Okay, so I'm going to go like that, and we're going to slowly lower it. Again, this thing is a bit tricky to get lined up 100%. I don't know if like some paper card or something will help hold it into place better. But, okay, let me see here. Is that lined up enough? I don't know. Okay, I think I have to pull it over a little to the left. Stick that back down. Okay, maybe what I need to do is tighten the middle screw first. Okay, it's centered. I think it's really hard to tell with the light angles because it changes. Anyways, I'm going to tighten the middle screw first this time, and hopefully that will prevent it from shifting, or maybe it will just cause it to twist around. Alright, so we'll tighten the middle one. Good. Let's go ahead and take a look again. Okay, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and tighten all these screws, and we're just going to continue waiting for that thing to finish. Okay, get that corner, get this corner. The fan is actually going somewhat crazy. And because we were able to sign in and I was able to click stuff, the trackpad is still good and working. Alright, so should be okay. I don't know if the fan is spinning crazy like that just because we're doing the update. Hopefully it will be okay once everything finishes. Alright. Or since we're trying to go to the recovery mode, I mean. Alright, let's get this cover back on. Okay. Alright, so it's saying 6 minutes to go. Okay, I'm just going to get these things of tape off again out of the way. Alright, yeah, trackpad looks good. Maybe while I'm waiting, let's go ahead and put the bottom screws back in. So we're going to go ahead and switch back over to the P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 screwdriver. Okay, actually wrap up my tweezers again here. Okay, we're going to go ahead now and put those other screws back in. You can watch that continue to spin. Okay. And I'm just getting these screws back in. Okay. Alright, got that. Let's continue with all the screws. I know it's not focusing right. hopefully you guys get the idea. I have a customer coming in the morning, so I might want to hurry with this. Okay. Probably not going to get much sleep tonight, as usual. Alright, let's get that in. Last 2 screws. Alright, again, if this video helped you out, make sure, to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. This one was pretty tricky. I'm not sure how many people will be able to actually do what I just did. But yeah, if you're willing to take the risk, go for it. Alright, 3 minutes remaining according to this. We'll let that run. Let me check something real quick since I got this phone. Uh-oh, I got people messaging me. Okay, let's see. Still 3 minutes, so we're just going to keep letting that run. Okay. What else? Here we go. I don't need to read that yet. Okay, got like a bunch of messages from someone for Yelp for a job. Okay, it's still showing. Okay, now it shows 2 minutes. Oops, this plastic thing from the battery fell down. Okay. 2 minutes remaining. I know, again, you guys can just fast forward if you want. You don't have to sit here and watch the globe spin. But if you're doing what I'm doing and following along, I kind of want to give you guys a realistic expectation. Right? Let's see. Alright, responding to that customer. Getting people messaging like past midnight for work. What's this one? Oh, they said they uploaded some pictures. What? Okay, I'm confused now. I don't know why my customer they uploaded a picture of flowers to my Yelp page. I don't know why, but okay, sure. Alright, let's see here. Showing 1 minute remaining. Alright, should be done soon. Okay, so it's starting up the recovery mode now. Let's see how that goes. Okay. Come on, come on. I need some sleep. Even though I'm probably going to end up staying up late anyways. Let's see here. Let's see, it's still... Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, so anyways, here you can see, popped up the disk utility and the reinstall. So basically, we had to go into the disk utility, wipe out the disk here. Okay, you can see Macintosh HD. If it doesn't work, you might have to show all devices. go specifically to the Macintosh HD and then erase it. And when you erase it, I don't want to erase it, but you want to, for the newer OS, it's APFS, and for the older ones, oh, it doesn't even let you change it on this. Let me try erasing the whole thing up here. Then here you can see macOS Extended Journaled. Anyways, we're not going to be doing that. I kind of just wanted to show you. And then once you do that, you can go to reinstall the OS. Make sure that Wi-Fi is connected. Anyways, we're going to go to the utilities, Startup Security Utility. And here you can see, enter macOS password. Since we created an account, now we can do that. Okay, I made an admin account and password, just password for the customer. And here you can see, normally it's set to this full security thing. Okay, and if you want to be able to boot external devices, go to no security and then allow booting from external or removable media. All right, so you can read what the other options are. Hopefully you can. There you go. All right. Go ahead and read that. And there you go. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to turn that off. There's also a firmware password thing you can turn on. If you saw that up there. I'm not going to turn that on. But if you want to make sure that if somebody does happen to be able to steal your MacBook, that they can't do anything with it, go for it. But keep in mind, if you forget the passwords and you need to change things, your MacBook's basically going to be useless. All right, anyways, I'm going to plug my external drive back in and power this back up. Again, I'm holding the Option key, and let's see if I can actually boot my external Mojave this time. So, if that works, then we should be good to go. All right, so let's try and boot it. My external Mojave, the disk is blinking now. Again, just like before. All right. And it's slowly doing its thing, booting. The hard drive is flashing. If you want to see, this blue light is flashing. And hopefully it should be good now. Okay, it showed a weird red block. And that definitely looks like it's booting. And there we go. So here you can see it actually booted my Mojave. Anyways, I'm going to shut this down. I just did that so in the future if it needs to be worked on, it'll be easier, because if the drive gets some issue, then it becomes a pain in the butt to work on again. Anyways, that's pretty much it. And also, of course, I forgot to show that it works on battery. So let me just show you this. We're going to power it up. I'm going to hold the Option key just so if it shuts off, it doesn't like mess up anything. Here you go, and unplug that, and there we go. So you can see no plugs, nothing's in it, and it's on. So we're good. We're going to shut this off, and that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. Let's drop this.